Hey, what's happening, guys? Dan Darrow here with another Options to Play video update. Think we're out of the woods? We're not out of the woods, right? Just when it looks like we're about to bounce, we sell right through it. Another day, another move lower. Uh, Santa is bringing a large lump of coal. It's pretty amazing the type of action we're seeing at this late in the year. Um, the good news, well, there's good news and bad news, right? The good news is that 2018 is over in 6 trading sessions. The bad news is that there's 6 trading sessions left in 2018, and the way this December's played out, that means we could be down. If losing 1% to 1.5% a day, we could be down another 6 to 8% by the time December's over. So, without further ado, it's Friday. You know what that means? It's options and play. It's options and plays earning on the radar day, and I'll tell you what. This might be the easiest earnings on the radar video ever, because there is not a single company scheduled to report this coming week, not one. So the week of December 28th. So that's Monday, which is a half day for Christmas Eve. The markets are closed on Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So there's basically 3.5 days next week, and there's literally not a single name scheduled. So really nothing to do there, right? Um, Overall, it's not totally surprising, right? Most of Wall Street's on vacation. Most of the analysts are on vacation. Most of the executives for the companies are on vacation, so nobody wants to work. So you're not going to get anybody putting together a press release and holding a conference call. We definitely could see some unscheduled news, right? It's definitely possible. Problem is, unscheduled news you can't plan for it, so it's a surprise. So there's really nothing. There's nothing you can do. Just kind of look forward to what's coming at the beginning of January. So the following week, so the 28th is next Friday. The following week is the first week of January, right? So you have that Monday, so December 31st is a full trading day. That's New Year's Eve, but there's actually not anything scheduled for that session either. Again, not totally surprising. Mondays are usually pretty slow anyway, and that's New Year's Eve. So again, nobody really wants to work. So there's nothing scheduled that Monday. Tuesday the market closed, and then Wednesday we come back, and there's actually not anything scheduled for that Wednesday either. Maybe people are planning on having the 2 day hangover, so don't want to have anything on the second day of January. Finally, Thursday, January 3rd, get some earnings. And after the long wait, they really aren't even the best setups. So, UniFirst. May or may not be familiar with it. Uniform company. After Cintas today, so CTASS reported, kind of similar businesses, similar stocks. UNF, very light volume stock. Options are pretty illiquid. This has a history of moving, right? So you can see here, moved, but it's about 10 to 15 points on average, right? Here, here again. The problem is that the options just really wide spreads, don't do a ton of volume. The stock doesn't do a ton of volume, so it just makes trading pretty tough overall. Like you don't like if you're only looking to risk maybe like $1 to $3 on the options. You don't like options that have like 2 points spreads. It just you get a lot of slippage. So as much as I think that this one should move, options are probably going to keep me away from it. UNF. That's Thursday. So Friday, January 4th. Couple names to watch. So Lamb Wesson, LW. Again, probably not another household name, but packaged food company, staple stock, and I'm thinking maybe speculative short on Lamb Wesson. So they've actually beat the past couple quarters, but you can see the stock has pulled off pretty sharply off its high. And what I like is that it's kind of hovering above this big gap, right? So below like 72 to 73 there's this really large gap from the October quarter, right, down to about 65 to 66 area. And even though it's beat the last couple quarters, Pier ConAgra just got absolutely destroyed after disappointing this week on earnings. So this is a week, actually almost 2 weeks exactly from today away. So a lot can change between now and then. But for the time being, I'm thinking speculative short on this. Just because the group has been soft, ConAgra is destroyed. There's a pretty big gap underneath. This one's up a lot year to date, right? I mean, look at the gains of this year to date, right? Even pulling off the high, I mean, this is still up about 50% year to date. So options are pricing in 5 points. Thinking though, maybe speculative short. If it breaks 70, it looks like there could be a really nice looking quick gap down to 66, 65. So it's a little ways away, but that's what I'm leaning to as of right now. The other possibly interesting name that session is Greenbrier, GBX. And I say possibly because they haven't confirmed yet. If they do end up reporting, I'm thinking this one could be a pretty big mover. So this is Greenbrier Railcars. The stock has just gotten destroyed. I mean, I could pull up 100 stocks that look kind of similar to what this is, but not quite a 50% drop, but not too far off of it either. It's still heavily shorted. I was just looking about 20 some odd percent short still, and it's sitting around key longer term support. All right. Well, it's actually underneath it now. So it's hanging underneath key longer term support. So you can see, thing has gotten destroyed. Still heavily shorted below key 2-year support and opens up room down to 30. Right. Options are pricing in about 4.5. So not cheap, not by any stretch. It's a little bit on the higher end compared to what this has moved in the past. So I'm thinking, maybe a volatility strategy, where if surprisingly good, maybe it gets back up into the mid 40s, right? So that's about 7 points higher, reset above 44 to 45, that key support level. Obviously, I just showed you the chart. If it misses and it's ugly, 30 is the next major area on the downside. So there's visibility as of right now for about 7 to 8 either way. Options are priced in 4.5. Maybe spreads though. Spreads in either direction just to reduce debit. Also, what you could watch, again, they haven't confirmed yet, GBX, but what you could watch if they do is Trinity, which is a pretty good sympathy play, TRN. This is another rail car maker, probably the closest correlated name to GBX, so that could be one to keep an eye on as well. Let's see. I believe Trinity has weekly options. I'll double check. Yeah, so Trinity actually has weekly options, so that could be an interesting one to possibly play if and when Greenbrier confirms. So that's it. 2 weeks. That's 2 weeks of earnings. It's with basically 3 stocks in 2 weeks. So you can see what I mean when I say the volume should be light because there's really not much scheduled news at all. I will do a video. So the weekend, so that following weekend, so January 4th, 5th, 6th, and then the JP Morgan conference kicks off that Monday on the 7th. So I'll do a video specifically, probably just looking forward and game planning for that JP Morgan conference because it's usually a really crazy trading event. Ton of stuff moving around. So keep an eye out for that. I'm thinking maybe the first week of January, I'll put out a video just to kind of give you a few days to prep for that. All right, guys. I know a lot of you are going to be traveling this weekend and next week, so I want to say hope all of your travels are safe and quick, and you get to where you're going. Hope you have a fantastic holiday with your family and friends. I want to thank all of you guys for being part of the Options in Play community this year. And for those of you that have stopped by the coaching sessions the last couple months, I really love getting a chance to meet you guys and kind of get into options a little bit more. So it's been a crazy year. It's been a crazy December. I've said it a few times, but I really think that action over the last month and a half, 2 months is going to translate to some really good continued volatility through January, February, maybe even March too. So lots to look forward to. But the most important thing over the next week is to enjoy the time with your family and friends, and kind of clear your mind and rest up and just prepare for the new year, right? So have a fantastic weekend, and I will talk to you guys next week.